In the previous video, we discussed how the people rejecting the 2030 reset could possibly separate across 3 generalized tiers, and how they would separate would depend a lot on their consciousness, or as we called it in the last video, their kindness. So a quick review. Tier 1 is largely based around individual survival. One person versus the rest of the world. It's a narrow individual consciousness and primarily fearful in vibration. Tier 2 will likely have small communities that will compete with each other for resources. And in a world of polarity, many communes will likely have a nemesis commune. It's a broader group consciousness, but fear of survival is still lingering in the background. Tier 3 is a unity community. It's based around a community of people who see themselves as one. An interconnected and self-sufficient community of unity consciousness, peaceful in vibration, with no fear and no anxiety. It's worth noting at this point that some people will prefer to live in spaces like Tier 1. They will be comfortable with the idea of fighting for survival and survival of the fittest, and that's entirely their choice. This is very similar to movies like The Hunger Games or Squid Games. In fact, we absorb these survival attitudes through reality TV all the time. The producers carefully orchestrate situations in which participants do whatever they need to do to survive, or in television language, to avoid being eliminated. Their selfish decisions to avoid elimination are made regardless of the effects that they have on the others. This self-obsessive behavior was often expressed by Aleister Crowley, the outspoken Satanist, as "do as thou wilt." This is just an outmoded way of saying do whatever you want to benefit yourself, regardless of how it affects everyone else. And if you spend a few minutes scrolling through social media, you'll see a large proportion of so-called motivational quotes proudly reflecting this Tier 1 attitude. I'm sure it might seem empowering to some when harmlessly posting it into cyberspace. But what will that attitude look like when food is gone and water is scarce? Take a minute to actually imagine. Imagine everyone's survival is on the line, and everyone is doing whatever they want to benefit themselves, not caring how it affects everyone else. How would that look? To answer that question, we could just look at the mainstream production studios and their obsession with apocalyptic and zombie movies. It's the same for Tier 2. Some people will prefer to live in a space like Tier 2. Some people will desire to stick with the familiar grounds of the people they know and trust. And why not? Everyone's entitled to their own experience in their body. It's much better to decide than let the circumstances decide for you. Tier 2 people don't want to be alone, but they have that constant anxious feeling that they need to secretly focus more on themselves. Tier 2 people outwardly express group interest, but inwardly harbor self-interest. So what about Tier 3? The first 2 tiers have dynamics that are easier to relate to. The people in the first 2 tiers will have minimal issues attracting the people who they resonate with. That's because these particular survival values are almost all we have in recorded human history. We don't have as many examples out there for those who want to live with the values of Tier 3. Remember, the people in Tier 3 genuinely want to build a new world of interconnectedness and love. So how do we make sure we get there? If water seeks its own level and like attracts like, how can we make sure that we naturally lean toward a kind and abundant community that look after each other in equal measure? Well, it's a good question. Money, hard work and desire won't do it anymore. This is important because the rug's being pulled out from under humanity's feet over the next few years. This means our reality is vibrationally being flipped upside down. In other words, there will likely be many unkind people with lots of money down here. And likewise, there will be many superhumanly kind people without money Up here, like I said, it's literally being flipped upside down. The alleged power of money is being weakened as we speak. And eventually it will put almost everyone on a level financial playing field. Times have changed. The tier we go to won't be determined by our desire or finances. It will be determined by our subconscious beliefs, values, and behaviors. As everyone always says, like attracts like. If you vibrate self-survival, you will find yourself surrounded by others who vibrate self-survival. If you vibrate do as thou wilt, you'll find yourself surrounded by others who vibrate do as thou wilt. If you vibrate kindness and care, you'll find yourself surrounded by others who vibrate kindness and care. In the age of truth, no one can hide who they really are. Those who are doing their very best to hide values of self-centeredness will drift this way, no matter how hard they attempt to hide these values. Those radiating kindness and love from their core will drift this way. This might be a difficult pill to swallow for some, but with the proper dose of humility, this little nugget of information can be incredibly empowering and put you firmly in the driver's seat of your own destiny post-2030. Take a quick look around. Social media and even mainstream platforms are bubbling with exposés on celebrities, public figures, businesses, politicians, and overnight influencers, exposing dirty deals and their unlawful penchants. The vibration of our plane has changed in such a way that one way or another the truth of everything will rise to the surface like cream. This includes each of us and our lingering, well-hidden demons. These hidden subconscious values usually expose themselves in situations of high stress and survival. With the mounting pressures of financial slavery, constant price increases, and the domino effect conflicts around the world, decisions of survival will eventually hit all of us, and our well-hidden secret values and behaviors will come to the surface. This point can't be emphasized enough, and if there's anything to take away from this message, I would say this is it. People think they know themselves. People might be certain they know their behaviors, their preferences, and their triggers. But the difference between being up here and being down here lies in the subconscious. And the subconscious is just that, subconscious. The depth and understanding of this word has been lost over time with its continued overuse. In this context, it's referring to your vibration and hidden values that are out of your conscious awareness. Please allow me to repeat that. The subconscious programs, values, and behaviors setting your vibration are not in your conscious awareness. For the most part, we can't see them, and to top it all off, they control most of our day. The difference between being up here or down here lies in our attitudes and values that we are not aware of. So, if for the most part we can't see them, then how do we fix them? Self-awareness is always the first step. Attendees of Alcoholics Anonymous meetings do this the best when they stand up and announce to the room their name and that they are in fact alcoholics. As simple as that might seem, when they do this, they are already weakening the subconscious drive to drink. In that moment, they see the power that they have given to alcohol and then take it back. For some, just doing this public acknowledgement is enough. For lots of others, deeper work is required. Regardless, it takes courage and humility to acknowledge the chinks in your armor. Of course, alcohol is just an example. For us, leading to 2030, it could be greed, laziness, fear, ignorance, or jealousy, etc. A good, honest sense of self-awareness gives you a starting point to begin a healing process. These energetic glitches like greed, laziness, jealousy, etc. are like knots and cross-sections of timber. They are harder, more dense, and heavier than the surrounding energies. Removing or loosening their control via healing allows the natural flow of our energy to resume and our energy to lighten. Whether it's meditation, energy healing, juice cleansing, or another form of therapy, healing these hidden programs and scars will lighten your load and lift your base vibration. The lighter you are, the higher you rise. The higher you rise, the more you can see. The more you can see, the more you care about all you can see, leaving a power much, much bigger than all of it to look after you.